Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Nikki.
Hi. And if you are new here, this is a podcast where Kev and I sit down and have a little chat about any topic that's interesting to us. So if you don't enjoy what we're talking about today, it's kind of too bad because we're already talking about it, but you can submit topic ideas to us anytime. So.
Yes, submit them down below, right here, wherever the description thing is. Comment, whatever. So Nick, how was your week?
I think it was like normal. I had some days where I didn't feel too well, some days where I felt okay. I
Okay.
worked and life is life. How
Okay.
was your week?
It was fine. I didn't, it was kind of the same normal. I didn't actually work today,
Hmm.
like go to work, but I think I worked actually. I didn't go to work, but I worked harder than I think I have in like 3 or 4 years.
I'm
Um,
sure boss would love to hear this.
yeah. So, I mean, my, I work a desk job. Like, I work a desk job, so I don't actually like do labor work.
Hmm.
I do mentally straining work, not like physically
Yes.
straining work. Today I did physically straining work because I told you before um,
Hmm.
that I bought a mattress which got delivered this week. So I spent all day basically today destroying my old bed, ripping out the old mattress, carrying that out to the dumpster that's at my apartment complex, tearing out the old mattress, cleaning that room, putting the new mattress, taking it out of the box, putting it together, putting the new frame together, and all this kind of stuff. And it was just a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But it's done,
Hmm.
thankfully. And I will probably sleep like a little baby in that mattress tonight, and I
I
will
was gonna
be
say you're
very
gonna
happy.
crash
I
after we record this in
yes,
the best way.
I will be very happy. But yeah, so I am exhausted. Um, but other than that, it's been a fine week. I'm happy to get this new bed because my other one was a POS. It's
Mhm.
been uh, falling apart for years, and I just haven't gotten one until now. So
Yeah,
this is a long time coming.
well deserved.
So yeah, it's about time. Anyway, speaking of things that we leaving comments, I do have two shout outs. We have two shout outs this week. Two shout outs. Because
Hmm.
two people commented. Thank you.
Wow, that's better than the
A
last
lot.
couple.
Yeah. A lot of comments this week actually compared to normal. So that's a lot. Um, so Aunt Cindy, hi Aunt Cindy,
Hi,
commented
Cindy.
on the main episode from last week. Um, she said, "Great show, love the flying cow." Thanks. Um, and also the T-shirt should say "insufficient but fun." So,
I like that.
and then Distilled Voice commented on our one of our shorts, one of our YouTube shorts about you saying that horses and cows are just big dogs. And they said sheeps and pigs are big cats and equal a-holes. So
Oh, interesting. Very interesting.
I've never really messed with sheeps or pigs. I've heard pigs are a-holes. I've heard that before. I've
Yeah.
never dealt with sheep to know
Hmm.
anything about them. So yeah,
I
but I'll
haven't
take your word for it.
either.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Huh. There's
yeah,
not really like a lot of, in the Midwest here, we have lots of pigs, cows, and horses, but I feel like there's not a lot of sheep. So I don't know. I've never interacted with the sheep.
yeah. Sheep seem to be a Scotland thing. Yeah, you're a
That's what I was gonna
Scottish.
say. We saw a ton in Scotland, and
Yeah,
they were kind of a-holes because like if they were on the road, they would not get off the road. I guess cows and like other animals do that too
yeah. They
here,
just kind
but
of stand
like
there.
they would not move. And they're so used, no matter how much you honk, they will not move. Yeah, so I guess they are kind of a-holes in that way.
Yeah, I don't
But
think.
I never like pet one or anything, so I don't know if like they scratch you or bite you or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cats don't like me. Cats don't like me, dogs like me, so I don't really know how to interact with cats
I
who
don't
are
think
apparently
cats like
sheep.
anybody.
True.
I think cats are just. I think cats. Well, I think cats think they own everything. I think cats think
Yeah.
they're the dominant species,
So
which
our friends, Tyler and Ashley, their cats love them, but their cats were also raised by their corgi. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
cats raised by a dog that might have something to do with it. Because
Yeah.
like
Who
if
knows?
they're used to the way a dog acts, then you know maybe they were
Yeah.
used to that.
They
But
are very loving. Not to me, because again, cats hate me, but to them, they are very loving. So,
I am not really around cats that much. Um,
hmm
Anytime I ever have been, I can't stop sneezing. So I just
Yeah.
I
Well, okay, so I love how Aunt Cindy commented because I have a cat story about Aunt Cindy, one of Aunt Cindy's old cats. Growing up, Nathan and I never had a cat because my mom's allergic.
mhm.
So the only cats we were ever around were Aunt Cindy and Uncle Mike's. And they had this cat that was super rude. And so growing up, I literally thought cats were evil. And I
I mean they
mean,
are.
so seeing Tyler and Ashley's cats being actually nice, I'm like, I think something was just maybe wrong with Aunt Cindy and Uncle Mike's cat. Or maybe it was just rude. I don't know. But anyways, so all growing up, I was like, I thought cats were like the devil. I was like, dogs are amazing and cats suck
I
because
mean
of Aunt Cindy's cat.
I mean the videos. I mean dogs can be jerks too at times, but the videos
Yeah,
that you see of cats just like staring at you and then just like
hitting you or
knocking
something.
knocking something off the counter or something is just like
hmm
you just I feel like they just know that they're being an a-hole. Like
Now I'm gonna go like search for like sheep videos after this to see
the
if they're the
ones
same
the
way.
ones that I always see is in it's usually like in a show or something. Like I've watched some British
Mm.
television shows or something, and it's a sheep usually that will like headbutt somebody, and
Oh yeah.
that's a pretty common one that I feel is they'll like headbutt a person, and it's usually right in
hmm
the groin. It's usually some guy that they headbutt in
Mm.
the nads, which is I don't know if that's a normal thing or what, but that's I could see where that would yeah that would get annoying real fast. Um,
hmm
but anyway, this
Anyways,
week,
thanks for the comment.
yeah, thanks for the comments, guys. You can do that wherever. We'll try to find it. I'm not the best at
Mhm.
finding them on like Spotify and stuff. I usually get an email, but I don't really can't really tell sometimes if we get them or not. So I try to find them, but I apologize if I don't shout you out
If
if
you
we do that.
comment on Instagram or YouTube, we get it right away,
Yes, and
I
if you
think.
comment on YouTube, yeah, you just said that, so I'm,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I'm tired. Anyway, this week, Nick, we're talking about
hmm
dinosaurs. Not very
Yes.
well, but we're going to talk about dinosaurs because we like
Oh, it's
dinosaurs.
going to be a very insufficient dinosaur episode.
Yeah,
Like, we're normally insufficient. This is going to be like extra insufficient, I feel
yeah.
like.
I was going to do a little bit of studying today on this to kind of
hmm
do something. Didn't have time. I
Yeah.
just yeah.
Yeah, and I have lots pulled up, and I always try to find like good sources. Like one of my sources is this Natural History Museum in the UK, and then the other is like National Geographic, which I think is okay. But like, I'm not a scientist. Again, this goes back to this podcast is just things that are interesting to us, and this is interesting to me. I am very far from an expert. Like
Oh
the
yeah,
opposite. This is the
yeah.
opposite of my job, so I'm not an expert in this. But I
I
also just wanted to, I think I had originally put this on our list. I think you wanted to talk about it this week, but I had put it on our list of topics purely because I watched Jurassic Park, which we're going to do a movie episode on. So go listen to the movie
Wednesday.
episode coming out soon.
Yep, Wednesday.
Um, but literally my whole life. like the last 4 years. Not my whole life, just like the last couple years. I want a Jurassic Park Jeep so bad.
Oh,
Not
that'd be
like with
fun.
the branding of like Jurassic Park, just like that style and year of Jeep and everything. I want it so bad, and literally I could not stop thinking about it. And then one day I just added Jurassic Park and dinosaurs to our topic list.
Oh,
So
I want it painted like that. I want it red and brown with the Jurassic Park logo. Like I want the Jeep. I want that Jeep. I would love to
Yeah.
have. That's if I had like a ton of money, like just a ton of money to just like
Hmm.
throw at things. That's one of the things cuz I love cars. So I
Like
would
different
have a lot of
cars from
cars,
different movies.
but I
Yeah.
would have several cars that were designed to look like movie cars.
Yeah.
I don't think I
Cool.
would I don't necessarily care if it was actually from the movie cuz I wouldn't
Yeah.
I don't that's not what I care about. I actually would probably prefer if it's not cuz I want to
So you
drive
can
it
drive it
around.
and
I want to drive it
yeah.
around for the fun, so I would probably get vehicles and paint them to look like movie cars. I want a Jurassic Park Jeep.
Yes.
I
Hmm.
want an Ecto 1 from Ghostbusters.
I want
Um,
a Herbie.
you want Herbie? Okay. Herbie'd be
Hmm.
pretty easy. You just buy an old Beetle and paint him white with some
I
stripes.
want, oh, I also, so on the Jeep kick, I want a Daisy Duke Jeep. I want
There was
a
a Daisy
Dukes of
Duke Jeep.
Hazzard Daisy Duke Jeep.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Didn't know she
I
had a
want a
Jeep.
Herbie.
The car that I mean, obviously the General Lee is the one that I know from the Dukes of Hazzard. I didn't really know that there was a
Yeah.
Daisy Duke
So
had
she has
a
a
Jeep.
her own Jeep.
Huh, okay.
Um, so I want that. I think I just want all Jeeps
Okay.
and a Herbie.
And a Herbie. Okay. Yeah, there's several different
Yeah.
ones I'd want. I'd want, like I said, the Ghostbusters, the Ecto
Hmm.
one. I'd want a Jurassic Park Jeep. There's,
Hmm.
I'm sure there's a ton more that I would like to have, but yeah, the Mystery
Yeah.
Machine. The Mystery Machine would be fun to have.
Oh, that's a good one.
Just some
Oh,
fun.
the Supernatural car. Dean's
I've never actually seen Supernatural, so I don't know
uh
what that is.
Z Drive. I'm Googling Dean Supernatural car because I forget the Aunt Cindy's gonna be so mad that I forget which car it is because we're literally going to Chevy Impala. That's what it is.
Okay.
I knew it was Chevy. I couldn't think of the word Impala. 1967.
Okay.
But in a couple weekends, Aunt Cindy and I are going to like a supernatural event, and I literally forgot like the most important detail of the TV show. Oops. But that's another good one because those are just cool in general,
Yeah.
like classic cars.
Yeah.
But
That'd be fun. Yeah, just having
yeah,
some fun cars like that to drive around, because I would totally
yeah.
drive them like randomly. Just take one out on one day, just drive it around
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um,
So
with all the paint
totally
jobs and everything.
unrelated
Yeah.
to dinosaurs,
Well,
but
it started with Jurassic
that
Park
was kind of
Jeeps.
the backstory of why I put this on our
Yeah.
topic list. But so okay, so moving on to dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
This is one thing I think is interesting, and we've talked about, we will never know 100% sure certainty like different things in history. We can be like 99% sure
Mm-hmm.
this thing happened, and especially if we have like written accounts of things. But things that are this far back, it's kind of like when we talked about ancient Egypt, how there's like Egyptologists and then there's other scientists that say differing things. And so it's like super interesting to me when not even the experts agree on things. It's just fascinating. It's just one of those things like we'll never know 100%, which drives me crazy because I want all the knowledge, but
Yeah,
it's
I
still
get that.
interesting. So dinosaurs is kind of the same thing. Obviously, like with what killed them, what made them go extinct, but also with like how they evolved. And so I was reading and there's a lot of scientists that say they evolved from a group of reptiles, which would kind of make sense. I mean, if you look at like recreations of how we think they looked based on our fossils, they do look very reptile-like a lot of times. But then there's some people that say they didn't evolve from that, or maybe some, because dinosaurs is a broad term
Mm-hmm.
that covers many different species. So maybe some of them did, maybe some of them didn't, but a lot of their evolution is still just shrouded in mystery. It's
Yeah.
like we don't truly know. And it's such a wide variety of species. So there's like 2%. I don't have it pulled up, but I was reading earlier. We've only discovered like 1 to 2% of all like dinosaurs that they estimate to be in existence because this was like millions of years.
Yeah. So they lived for approximately 165 million years.
Just
The
crazy.
oldest ones were uh, between 231 and 228 million years ago, and they
Hmm.
died out 65 million years ago, or around 65 million years ago, like the last ones did, which means that there was dinosaurs more recently than what was that? That was one of the fun facts that I saw at one
Um,
point. The T Rex is the
yes,
T. We've lived closer to the T Rex than the T Rex lived to the first
the
dinosaurs.
first dinosaur.
Yes.
Yes, which is crazy. And then if humans have been around for like 300,000 years, I think is the number. I think that sounds right. But anyways, like think of how many animals have evolved and then gone extinct in our time of
Mm-hmm.
scientific discovery. And then think of that's a lot of freaking years for dinosaurs. So it totally makes sense if we've only discovered like 1 to 2%
Yeah.
was the number I saw of,
Well, they said
fossils and everything,
there's roughly 700 known species of dinosaurs that have gone extinct.
which is so small.
Yeah, that's a small number. Which if it's only 1 or 2%, then
Yeah. Because,
that's
like, isn't
yeah.
the amount of mammals like identified active in the world right now? It's like 6 to 7,000. I could be pulling that number out of nowhere.
I have no idea.
Um, but I think that's like identified and not extinct like mammals in the world right now. So that's crazy that we only have that small of a number identified from that many years, but it's wild. These are the things that like I feel like every week I learn something that blows my mind, and this week this was for sure it because
Yeah.
that's wild to think about.
So the word dinosaur
Hmm.
it's derived from Greek. Um, it stands for terrible lizard.
Yeah.
Or
I did see a joke
fearful
that was
great
like
lizard, depending on how you
I
depending on how you interpret it.
how you translate
Yeah,
it.
how you
I
translate
did
it.
see a joke that was like, well, since we found out that they probably didn't evolve from lizards, it
Yeah,
truly is a terrible lizard
yeah.
still.
There's a lot of also thoughts now that they're actually probably more like birds than they are lizards. So
Yes.
it's or they're more related to birds. They were more related to birds than they were lizards. So, um, yeah. Uh,
Hmm.
there have been fossils found on every single continent, including Antarctica, which shows that they were pretty much everywhere. Now,
Hmm.
obviously, 165 million years ago, the Earth was pretty much one big continent, so it's not
Yeah.
unfathomable that there would be dinosaurs in every
Yeah.
continent. But
Is that
um,
Pangea? What's
yeah,
Pangea?
it's one
Is
big
that
continent.
that?
Yeah, the one big continent. Yeah, before it all broke up into multiple
I'm a
things.
scientist.
Um, yeah. What else do we got here?
There's
Consider.
so different because this was always one thing too, like growing up, I've seen Jurassic Park. Had we had dinosaur toys and things and all the different periods too, beyond just like the Jurassic period. So there's the Mesozoic era, which says it's okay, so this is Google, so I'm assuming it's correct, but it could also not be correct. Their summary of this. But it says Mesozoic era, 252 to 66 million years ago, but then that breaks down further. I don't know. I don't really understand the different periods, but this list says Mesozoic, Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous.
Mhm.
I feel like there was more though. But anyways, that was always one thing growing up. I just thought everything was Jurassic Park.
No, there's several different eras. Jurassic was I think that was one of the last ones. I want to guess. I'm
Yeah.
guessing that, but I'm not sure. Um,
Yeah. And then so we talked about, mystery and everything of where they came from and what they are, and then but also how they went extinct is still debated. We have a pretty good idea from what I could read. So this is from the UK National History Museum, Natural History Museum. Did I say national? Natural history. Anyways, they found a crater like in Mexico or something that would make sense to be like the asteroid that, but they did specify it didn't like kill all the dinosaurs at once. What it did was it obviously killed some of them, but
it causes a
also it just,
causes
the
winter.
climate was already changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just, there were a lot of supervolcano eruptions at that time too. It like exacerbated it or made it all go faster from what I could tell from
Hmm.
what I read. So that was interesting. So I don't think we'll ever know for sure unless we get like alien technology that tells us what happened everywhere
Or it happens again.
in every time period. Yeah, that's true. And if that happens again, we won't be here. So the next generation of whatever things are here on Earth is going to be thinking the same dang thing that we are. There's going to be like gray aliens on their podcast being like, I wonder how those humans went extinct.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, asteroid hitting the Earth is the pretty prevalent
Yeah.
theory at this point. Is
Yeah.
asteroid hits the Earth, kills a bunch of them, and then uh, you know basically causes a nuclear winter that kills everything else
Mhm.
that wasn't
Yeah.
around at the time, or that didn't die in the original impact. So,
Yeah.
um,
Which is so crazy. Then when I see like breaking news now, when like it's like NASA predicts this will hit the Earth, and I'm gonna be like, oh my God, here we go. Dinosaur
yeah,
2.0.
there's there's always there's always things that might hit the Earth or whatever, but
Hmm.
there's such a small chance of it. It's like there's a
Hmm.
1.3% chance or something that this is going to hit the Earth, and
Yeah.
it's like 10 years from now or something. Like it's always
It's just like
small,
for
and
me,
it's also
knowledge
they're
almost creates
always
anxiety.
yeah. I get that. They're also always like they're never big enough to do anything. Like,
Yeah.
not saying that they're not big enough to do anything, because it like things hit the Earth all the time,
Hmm.
but they're small. They're not,
Yeah.
we're not getting like world-ending asteroids hitting the Earth on a,
Hmm.
it just doesn't really happen that often. Well,
Yeah.
that often it doesn't really happen. Um,
Yeah.
it just doesn't. It
Hmm.
hasn't happened in
Yeah.
65
I
million
I
years.
did think about this though. Like I said, knowledge creates anxiety for me. I think I just need to stop learning things because then I like what is it? Like being naive, you can just like be like la di da di da through life. Like I think I know.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of the saying. Ignorance is bliss. Because now I'm gonna be like, add asteroid to the list of triggers I need to talk to my therapist about.
Oh man. uh,
Anyways.
okay. Well, that's yeah.
So I pulled a list of like the top 10 like most popular dinosaurs because I was like thinking of what I learned in school, like
Okay.
T-Rex,
Yeah.
Stegosaurus,
T Rex
and
is on
sure
that list.
enough,
T Rex is on the
yeah, it's
list.
number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyrannosaurus Rex is number one.
Okay.
Triceratops was number two.
That doesn't
I don't
surprise
know
me.
how they rank these. But
Probably
that makes sense.
probably
That
what's in
tracks.
what's in Jurassic Park is
Yeah.
how that is how
What would
is
you think would
yeah.
be number three?
Um um
Also in Jurassic Park and stars the newer ones too.
Velociraptor? Raptor?
Hmm.
Raptors? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were number three.
Yeah.
Velociraptors were. Number four was Stegosaurus.
Okay.
Um, which is this true? Does that like did that name come from the translation of roof lizard?
I don't have a
That's
clue.
that sounds wrong to me. Again, I'm not a scientist, but
That's
that
kind of
sounds
random, but
wrong.
okay, sure. We'll go with it.
And then Spinosaurus.
Okay.
And then I have no idea what this guy is, but he looks like a little parrot. Um, Archae Archaeopteryx. It
Never even
says,
heard of
was it a
that one.
bird, a dinosaur, or somewhere in between?
Never even heard of that one, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know why that's like in the middle of the
Why would,
rankings. Number seven is Brachiosaurus, which I know. So why is
yeah.
that number seven and
So why wouldn't
this little bird?
a pterodactyl be in there if you're gonna have a flying one?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be like a pterodactyl or something?
Well, that's what I thought too. And pterodactyl's not even on the list. The next one is Allosaurus. It just says a smaller T-Rex. And then it
Yeah, I've heard
says
that name before, but
a Apatosaurus, which is kind of like a brontosaurus, but smaller. And then the last one on their list is Dilap Dilophosaurus.
mm. I think
Oh,
that's the first one in Jurassic Park. I think that's the first dinosaur that they say the name of in
yes.
Jurassic Park.
It literally says, despite what you saw in Jurassic Park, they didn't spit poison and didn't have a neck
Yeah.
frill. hmm But so I disagree with some of that. In my
Hmm.
scientific opinion, I disagree that the Archaeopteryx bird.
Yeah. I don't really know how they come up with which one's the most popular. Wonder if
Yeah,
they just go out on the street and do it like what's
don't
what's the name
know.
of that game show? Family Feud, where they just ask like 100 people a question and see what the answers are. Is that what they top six
I don't
answers on the
know.
board?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know what they do with that, but
yeah. And then
interesting.
I scrolled through Reddit because
Yeah.
Reddit's funny to me. And it says this guy posted, "What are some extremely obscure or unknown dinosaurs that are really cool?" Um, and then there were some that were like popularized by different games. Like this says Mype Macrothorax was like a mega raptor and it was popularized by some game.
Hmm.
Um, and then Polacanthus. Um, I don't there, but then they like described all these. So I'm not going to describe it because
Hmm.
I don't know how to read these things. But there are funny answers because this Reddit. It's like one person said Stegosaurus, and then a bunch of people like roasted him in the comments. Like everyone knows what a steg. This is like funny because these people are on Reddit trolling other people on a post about
Yeah.
dinosaurs.
That's what Reddit is.
It's just funny
It's a
to
lot of
me.
trolling about, just
Yeah.
random things.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
So,
I don't.
and then we took a quiz.
Yes, we
I
took
sent
two
you a
quizzes.
quiz that was like, what dinosaur are you? And so I actually got, and I didn't like try to do this because I don't know personalities of my favorite dinosaur, but I actually got my favorite dinosaur as the what dinosaur are you in the quiz.
Okay.
So,
What was yours? What did you get?
uh, the ankylosaur.
Oh,
So that's the one,
you got a specific
huh?
dinosaur.
Yeah. Did you
Interesting.
get like a group?
I got a group.
Interesting.
I
Yeah, I
didn't.
got like a specific. Now, there are different types of these, so I guess it could also be a group.
Okay.
But the ankylosaur, I've seen pictures of this before, and I think they're kind of cute because they're like turtle tanks. So they're
Mm-hmm.
kind of like um uh what was the one that's like built like a tank? Was that Stegosaurus? I think it was. Anyways, they kind of look like that, but they're like they have shorter legs. They have like turtle-like shell,
Mm-hmm.
and they're actually pretty cute looking. But I did find a really sad article. This is from the Institute of Creation and Research. I think it's in England. But basically, they found a group of fossils of the ankylosaurs. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. But they found several different fossils, and they found out, or what they assume based on all their research of these fossils, is they were all upside down. So these dinosaurs literally, like,
They were
there
flipping
was a
them over like a.
flood.
Oh, okay.
Well, they flipped over like a turtle and then they drowned. And I was like, that's so sad.
That is.
Their shell was so heavy they flipped over and drowned.
I figured you were gonna tell me like other dinosaurs were flipping them over to
Like
like
cow tipping.
yeah, like basically tipping them over so that they could like being the bully dinosaurs or something, you know.
No, this is they were found on the Isle of Wight in
Huh.
England.
Interesting.
Um, I was like, that is so
That's
sad.
sad.
Yeah,
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 mine
interesting.
was man. Mine was I got a category of large carnivores. So like the T-Rex and
Oh,
things like
okay.
that is what
Hmm.
I got. And it just that's all it says. It just says large carnivores is categories, tyrannosaurs, carnosaurus, others like that. Yeah, that's it.
Interesting. That kind of makes sense. Yeah. I feel like I'm definitely an upside down turtle, and that's pretty accurate for you too. What you got. If I had to like describe my life, it's just upside down turtle.
Yeah, and I'm a large meat eater, so that's that sounds
Yeah.
about right.
Yeah.
Um,
The last thing I looked up about dinosaurs, because I love Reddit doom scrolling. And so I copy and pasted this into my notes. So
Reddit
this
is fun
is
to doom scroll on
it's
sometimes.
so fun. This thread is, what is the most stupid and outdated thing you believed about dinosaurs as a kid? And some of these are super funny. Someone posted, I used to be so dumb and I believed that Stegosaurus got two brains. And then someone said, poor Stego, his brains were so small. People kept saying, well, he must have a second one to be able to function. And then they said, this fellow's been dead a million years and is still getting bullied. I'm like, oh, poor
What?
thing. Some of these are so sad. Like, I feel like dinosaurs drowning and dinosaurs getting bullied. I was kind of sad when like
Wow.
reading through these. But so then some people said like the Tyrannosaurus didn't actually like drag its tail, like some actual um things. And then there were a lot of people that commented on that Jurassic Park scene with the frilled neck and the
Hmm.
poison.
Yeah.
Um, Another person said that caveman and dinosaurs existed together. Like fully believed humans were at the same time.
Yeah, that's still a common thing that people believe.
Another
So,
person said vampire dinosaurs like thought they didn't drink water, that they drink blood.
hmm,
Um,
interesting.
yeah. So there's a lot of funny ones on here. I did enjoy a good doom scroll down this
Yeah, that's always fun to do
thread.
every once in a. That's fun to do every once in a while.
Yeah.
Just kind of go through a Reddit page and just kind of scroll through it and see what crazy things people
Yeah.
are saying on there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, I think it's time for facts.
Yeah.
So Nick, what is your
Okay.
fact for this week?
So I have two.
Okay.
So the first one is the largest land-based dinosaur was the Argentinosaurus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna assume that some scientist in Argentina discovered it and said, cool, Argentinosaurus.
Makes sense.
I said it was up to 40 meters in length and 21 meters in height, which is crazy because the blue whale is 4 to 5 meters long. So 40 meters long compared to 4 to 5 meters long for a blue
Wait,
whale.
hold on. 4 to 5, or wait,
That's what this says.
4 to 5 meters is only like what is 5? 5 meters is only like 15 feet. I think a blue whale's bigger than 15 feet.
Let's see.
40 meters is
Trauma.
large. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, very large.
40 meters is like 120 feet, 100, round
How
about, something like that, a little over.
many meters long? This is blue whales can reach up to 33. Where the heck is this fact? I just told a completely untrue fact. So this says average length 24 to 33 meters
Okay, so
for a blue whale.
still bigger than a blue whale, but
40 meters is what they said, the Argentinosaurus.
okay.
And again, this is what I assume is like the largest found one. So they'll probably find more in the future that's bigger. Anyways, that was my first fact, so that was kind of a bust. Anyways, cool anyway. My second fact. A T-Rex can't clap his hands because he's extinct.
Okay. That's kind of like if a tree falls in the woods, is anybody around it? Isn't it? Like that's kind of like a
Yeah.
kind of like that.
I was really proud of that one.
Okay. Oh, good Lord. So I saw this and I thought it was interesting. Dinosaurs had fleas.
Oh.
Like, as in like dogs and cats have fleas.
Weird.
Which I thought was kind of weird. Because...
I mean, I know they had feathers and stuff. Like, some had feathers. And
yeah.
so it kind of makes sense.
But...
like a prehistoric flea.
It also says that they had giant fleas. Which were several times larger than what we think of as fleas. So I want to know how many times I want to know what several times larger is. Like, are we talking like, because fleas are usually small.
Yeah.
So when we're talking like several times larger, are we talking like the size of like a fruit fly flea?
Yeah.
Or are we talking like the size of a New York City rat flea? Like, what type of flea are we talking about here? Because you see like some of the animals that they say were from those time periods, and that you see how big some of them got. Like some of the bugs and things that they talk about were around at that time, and they're massive. So I just wonder how big the fleas actually were.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, well, you haven't played the Fallout games, and I don't know if it was in the show. They have like this everything in that world like is bigger or crazier because of all the radiation from the bomb. So they have rad roaches, and these rad roaches are like the size of like your knee to your foot, like that big. Like they're huge.
Yeah.
So that was what my brain first went through was like massive bugs.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess they weren't quite that big, but yeah, that's I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
No.
Just the thought of any bug at all.
I'm not a big bug person, so yeah, I don't really care for that very much.
No, I'm not Robert Irwin. I'm Nikki, so I don't like anything like that.
Yeah. Robert Irwin, that's... it took me a second to realize who you were talking about, but that's... yeah. Steve Irwin's son. Yeah.
I guess I probably should have said Steve Irwin, and people would know better.
People would probably know.
My generation.
Yeah, like I watched Steve when I was a kid. I know who Robert is, because I've seen him on a few things, but obviously Steve was who I watched all the time when I was a kid. But yeah, I think that's it for this week, isn't it, Nick? Is that it? Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, don't take what we say, most of it, as actual facts.
Definitely don't use it like for a school report or anything, because clearly we're wrong.
Yeah. Nick just told you that a blue whale is 5 meters long, and that's definitely not true. We proved it to you live on.
I don't even know what a blue whale is, to be honest. So definitely don't.
It's one of the largest. It's one of the largest mammals in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, it's huge. Which is why they're comparing it to this dinosaur. Why we were trying to, that it didn't go well. But anyway, hope you guys had fun. We did. If you want to give us suggestions, put them down below on Instagram, whatever, and we'll try to find them. If not, we'll keep talking about whatever we want to. So, hope you guys like this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye.